Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I would like to talk about the year of 2024, the economy of Wales in the United Kingdom. Before the year of 2024, the Nine of Wands in the spread, it means that there was a sense of being wounded. This is a person in a picture. It is a person who is guarded against something. They feel like they have to guard against something because they feel the wounds, they feel the hurt. Um, so they're very cautious about things that are happening right now. Not right now, but before this year, they they were very guarded for some time. This year, there's a major ending. The death card means transformation, rising about the ashes. So, in the economy of Wales this year, I think it is overcoming something very profound because the things that were working before, they no longer work anymore. And the only way is to change. So sometimes that card, or including myself, sometimes I would feel afraid of it. But when I'm able to acknowledge the fact that the death is a necessary progression of life, then I started to embrace it. Even though there can be times that I feel nasty about it, I feel angry about it, but ultimately, it is the path to a better future. Because if something has been decayed, it has to be, you know, to be dealt with and to put an end with the situation. Six of Wands on top of the Death card. Six of Wands energy is about the victorious vibe. Um, in this case, in this picture, you can see not only one person, but more than one person. So somehow I think this is about the UK in general because um, I'm talking about the contiguous um, continent of the UK. I think Northern Ireland is dealing with something a little bit different. Um, Six of Wands in this spread, it can be the sense of union, the sense of union, and then on an economic level, I believe that one region will do better than the other two regions somehow. Um, but there are cooperations among them, and they will work together to deal with issues and to create a better future. Six of Wands can also mean there will be victory ahead. Um, but I think the victory will be something minor. Maybe I don't think people will feel very satisfied about the victory because the road to recovery is gonna take more than some victories, but it will pave the way for for things to be and for people to feel logical and reasonable again. Um, Ten of Wands on the top of this bread, that means pressure, um, and also the energy to strive for success, even though there are lots of obstacles, but there's the intention to move beyond the feeling of burdens and feeling of pressures and get things done, that kind of vibe. Three of Swords at the bottom of this spread, it means sorrow, sadness. Um, I think the economy in Wales, it is mourning about uh, things that have not been able to manifest in a good way. So I do feel like there is a sadness around the economy in general. King of Swords in the coming future, it means taking logical and scientific approach in order to deal with the economy. So, which is a very good sign because um, it strips away the crap, the emotional crap that are not doing any good to the economy, um, and actually take practical actions to improve the situation. Five of Swords energy is about um, losing a battle or the sense of feeling defeated. Um, Maybe there's also a sense that the economy in Wales, um, there are things that Wales wants to do, but then they don't feel like being supported by the other two person or other two regions, and they have their ambitions, but they just feel like not being supported somehow. Um, but in general, I think there is a sense of defeat. However, the Wheel of Fortune card after the Five of Swords, it means a turning point because it is a major arcana card. It is a major turning point, and I think this correlates with the card of the Death, which is something major that is ending in the economic structure itself. So it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hit the turning point. This creates a new reality. Some of the things that were not working before, they can start working. Um, and I think some people might feel a little bit surprised because uh, I feel like there are things that were restricted before because of the structure. Those things will be released. Um, Depends on whether people want to tap into that territory. But by saying that, I don't mean it's only one territory. It can be multiple territories. There were things that were not working before. Probably not only for years or maybe even decades. Because of the restrictions, people wouldn't even think about the possibilities of doing something. But because of the change of circumstances and because of the forces that are pushing something to an end, they started to explore the new ways of um, to think about the way to make the economy better. And I do think there are lots of possibilities. Um, Even though the surrounding circumstances are not the best, but it is a very precious time for the people in Wales to consider doing something different from before, because they have earned this opportunity to improve their lives and to break away from some economic restrictions that were placed upon them previously. Um, but it depends on whether they have the vision or not. If they do have the vision, then it can be tremendous opportunity for them um, to manifest a future that is different from before. Uh, I think it can be something that might be less predictable than the others because of the nature of Wheel of Fortune. Um, Wheel of Fortune is also about constant change. Uh, will that be something about the logistics? Um, I don't know. I get a vibe that probably some economic activities will be surrounding things that are circulating, circulating, and Wales would probably be able um, to help with the circulation of some kind. Um, because Wheel of Fortune is about circulation, can be a center of something, and then they just help to facilitate the circulation of some kind. Seven of Swords after Wheel of Fortune. It is about leaving some things behind because of the turning point, and they believe that the economy of Wales will head towards uh, how can I explain? You know what? Less burden is better. That's the idea. So something uh, I feel like the economy in Wales, some of the components, which they do believe that there are values, but they gonna let go of those components because there are more important things to do. Um, yeah. So Seven of Swords is basically it is also about operating uh, in different ways that people not be aware of. So they are putting a plan together, but it's gonna take some time, and it's gonna be not very obvious for everyone. Um, I I bet some people would feel like they're kind of out of grip about the situation because not quite sure about what's going to happen. And because of the Wheel of Fortune card, definitely, when humans are overcoming changes, it's definitely not the most comfortable space to be. Um, So I feel like some people may feel like it's kind of um, I wouldn't say up in the air, uh, but they will try to strategize to deal with the situation. Um, and one of the strategies is to let go of things that are unnecessary. Um, well, in this case, I feel like it's possible that there will be restructurings um, of company structures, those kind of stuff, because changing the size of the company, changing the size of uh, involvement in general can be represented by the Seven of Swords. Um, so I think the economy in Wales they will go through a period of um, looking for streamlining the operations of things. Yeah. So things can be more efficiently done. Five of Pentacles at the end of this spread, it means usually it means the sense of lack. Uh, but as I always mention, everything has good and bad. Even though it looks like, oh, there are people who are disabled and having a hard time and in cold weather, they are not alone. So there's actually help, even though maybe the help doesn't create a sense of abundance. But if people are wise enough, they will feel the sense of gratefulness. You know, when in hardships, when someone shows up, um, even though they probably have their own problems too, uh, but they're still a companion. So I feel like Wales, um, on an economic sense, maybe is not in the most fulfilling stage, but then there's help. Um, but I have to stress that maybe the help is not perceived as enough. Um, but for people who are more spiritually oriented, they can still appreciate this time. Um, because through some of the obstacles and um, problems, they can actually um, appreciate more. That I don't know if you get what I mean. Sometimes when we are in the lack of something, little things becoming more appreciative because it's becoming difficult to get, and that sense of spiritual fulfillment uh, will be tremendous when it is under the sense of lack. And I think this can happen among people. Uh, I think there are situations where people will tend to help each other more because of the obstacles that they are facing collectively. Um, Even though things can look kind of grim somehow, I do believe that there is a collective sense to strive for the best, which is represented by the Six of Wands. It is about gaining the victory over things that are difficult. And to gain the victory, people have to come together to deal with the situation. And I do believe that especially in Wales, um, I think in the coming future, people will be over with the sentiments, even though many of them they still gonna have that sentiment um, of the fact that the economy is not working as as good as they hope for. They will have that sentiment, but they will move beyond that and actively implement practical approaches to to change. But I do feel like patience is needed because change is not easy, especially for places that have a very long history. Um, I do feel like people will kind of feel like they want to look back, but it's not a time to look back. That's the thing. It's a time to look towards the future. Um, because of the death card and the wheel of fortune card, there are major endings and major change, which are unavoidable. So the only way to go forward is to embrace the change. Um, so, and I think the most auspicious thing is the willpower of the people of Wales. They have the intention to change actually, even though it's difficult for them, but they have the sense about that. They know things gonna change, and you're either gonna fail because you don't want to change, or you're gonna be victorious because you overcome the change. And I think the latter will be the best approach. Is to gain the victory over the obstacles. And I do feel like there is a cautionary thing that I would like to mention because of the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, as you can see, two people are walking when it is snowing. Uh, and I think there is a need to secure the energy stability and to be more prepared about the situations. Um, yeah, I just want to mention that because you Five of Pentacles sometimes can mean feeling cold uh, when it is snowing. So I feel like um, for people who live in older structures, I think it's it's a good it's a good thing for them to get prepared when before winter comes. Uh, there are a lot of measures that can be done to deal with the cold weather. Actually, uh, you know, it's not necessary to be expensive. Sometimes, the Five of Pentacles, you can also see a window over there. So this actually reminds me about uh, the times when I have to stuff things to my window to actually block the cold air. So that kind of thing. But this is just a sharing. I'm not saying everybody has to do it, but it can lower the bill and it can actually sometimes it can be a good thing because when during winter times, quite often it depends on your region. some people will turn on the heat and then to keep warm, but at the same time the heat will you know lead to dehydration, right? So sometimes when the heat is not really stable, or we have to deal with it, uh, it's not entirely a bad thing. We just have to be flexible about it, uh, and see the good side of it, because everything has the upside. So yeah, as I mentioned, people with windows that are not, um, you know, that are leaking air, I think it's a good thing to try to block the air, but at the same time be careful, because if you block the air, you have to make sure that if something happened, you're able to remove the block and then get out, right? So I just want you guys to be careful about it. Um, yeah, but I do feel like structurally, uh, there's a need to prevent cold air to come from the outside. I know it is way beyond the economic read, but it is something that I really want to share, so I just go with it. Um, so, but on an economic sense, I think there will be a sense of lack in the short term, especially for this year. But I do think that there will be logical approach that will be pursued to to get through it and to bring a better future. So I think in general, uh, it is necessary to keep the fighting spirit, because I do believe the people of Wales, they have the fighting spirit to change, and they do have the wise knowledge about it, even though it's uncomfortable. But I believe that many of them, they have the realization that change is inevitable, um, and they will seek for the victory at last. So I hope this read will be helpful um, for you. And if you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. And I appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Have a good day.